Okay, we're about to take a deep dive into a world of high-stakes drama and even higher emotions, straight from the pages of a 1951 romance comic. We're going to unpack a story that asks a question that, honestly, is just as real today as it was back then. What is the price of love?
And here we go, the title panel that just throws you right into the thick of it. Look at the passion, the tension. It's spelled out for us in these huge dramatic letters. What price love? That question, right there, is the engine for this entire story. So, let's start at the beginning. Part 1, A Nurse's New Beginning. Our story kicks off with a young woman named Jen, who is standing right on the edge of a brand new life.
So this is Jen. She's just finished nursing school, she's full of glamorous dreams, and she's not just looking for a paycheck. No, she's heading out to a western mining town specifically because she's craving adventure. And, let's be real, she's looking for a place with lots of big, strong men around. She is on a mission, and that mission is romance.
And well, it does not take long for her to find what she's looking for. The second she lays eyes on Dr. James Nelson, or Jim, the new clinic head, you can just feel the sparks fly. For Jen, this is the one. I mean, her first thought is literally, at last here was a good-looking man.
You know, what's really fascinating here is how upfront Jen is about all of this. She is not a passive character waiting for love to happen to her. She comes right out and says it. She was young, she wanted romance, and she made a conscious decision to make Jim Nelson fall in love with her. I love that.
And mission accomplished. Their romance is a total whirlwind, leading almost immediately to this passionate engagement. It really seems like every single one of Jen's dreams is coming true. But, of course, the story gives us a little warning. Their joy was destined to be short-lived.
Which brings us to Part 2, Tragedy in the Mine. Because just as fast as this perfect romance started, it is all about to get blown to pieces. And that's the sound that does it. One word, one sound, a cave-in at the mine. It's the moment that ends one life and sends another one completely off the rails.
The comic shows us these two panels. Bam, one after the other. First, you see the hero. Jen tells us, "My brave sweetheart did not hesitate. He went to help." And then you see the devastating result of that bravery as the mine collapses again. In a single, horrifying instant, Jen's entire world just evaporates. The man she loved, her fiancé, the future she had so perfectly planned, it's all just gone. The shock is so immense, so overwhelming, that she actually collapses. And it's in this exact moment that our third main character makes his entrance. As Jen blacks out from the grief and the shock, she's carried to safety. She's not even really aware of it, but she is in the strong arms of this handsome, red-haired man named Rod Quinn.
Okay, on to Part 3, An Enemy's Embrace. Because out of the ashes of this disaster, a new and incredibly complicated relationship starts to take shape. And this one is fueled by grief, guilt, and a whole lot of misplaced anger.
So a few days go by and Rod comes to check on Jen while she's recovering, but she is just consumed by rage and she starts lashing out about the mine not being safe, calling the owner a murderer. And that's when Rod quietly drops the bombshell. The mine owner is my father.
And that's it. That's all it takes. In Jen's shattered mind, Rod instantly transforms. He's no longer the man who saved her. He's the living, breathing embodiment of the person she blames for Jim's death. So you can imagine the conflict this creates inside her. On one side, you have Jim, her perfect, ideal love, now a memory that she feels she has to protect. And on the other side, there's Rod, a guy she thinks she's supposed to hate, who represents everything she lost. And yet, there's this connection she just can't deny.
Yeah, despite all that raw hatred, there's this powerful, undeniable attraction. Rod kisses her, and even though she's shocked, she admits later that she lies awake all night, unable to forget the thrilling touch of Rod's lips on mine. She is completely torn.
So we come to our final act, Part 4, The Price of Love. Jen is determined to get justice for Jim, so she pushes for a grand jury investigation. And it's here, in the cold, hard light of a courtroom, that the truth finally comes out, forcing her to rethink everything she thought she knew about love and loyalty.
So, we're in the courtroom. This is the moment Jen has been fighting for. The whole atmosphere is incredibly tense. Everyone is just waiting for the testimony that Jen is sure will prove Rod's father is guilty of murder.
And things start off looking pretty good for her case. The prosecution brings in a witness who testifies that the main support beam that broke was rotten, that it looked like it was eaten away. It seems like a total open and shut case of criminal negligence.
But then, Rod reveals the unbelievable truth. It wasn't rot. It wasn't negligence. It was rats. A whole colony of them had over time literally chewed through the main support beam deep underground. It was a complete freak accident, an act of nature that nobody could have possibly seen coming.
And in that one moment, everything just shifts for Jen. All that hate she was holding on to, it just dissolves. She realizes her whole quest for revenge was really just selfish. And she sees that Rod, the man she was so sure was her enemy, has actually shown her what real goodness and loyalty look like, by standing by his father while still respecting her grief.
So the story doesn't end with vengeance. It ends with forgiveness and a brand new start. Jen finally lets go of the past and embraces her future. And as they share this final amazing kiss, her heart is just pounding. This is it, forever.
So what's the big takeaway here? I mean, this story, with its whirlwind romance, the sudden tragic loss, the misunderstood rival who turns out to be the hero, the dramatic courtroom reveal, it all feels incredibly familiar, doesn't it? Which really leaves us with one final question to think about. More than 70 years later, how much has the formula for the perfect love story really changed?